Hello and welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being here today, because I'm going to be sharing something quite touching and unexpected about one of the most admired and graceful actresses in the entertainment world, Ellen. For years, Ellen has carried herself with an elegance that few can match. Whether she's on stage performing a powerful monologue or simply walking through a crowd, there's something about her presence calm, grounded, genuine that resonates with people. She's the kind of person who doesn't need flashy headlines or constant media attention to stand out. She simply does, by being who she is. These days, Ellen is incredibly busy. She's working on a major project, something that seems to combine the magic of theater and the timeless charm of musicals. From everything we've heard, it's a massive undertaking, one that demands endless hours of preparation, rehearsals, and creative decision-making. And yet, even in the midst of all this chaos, she shows up with grace. In public, she smiles. She tells everyone that she's not complaining, that this is what she loves. And maybe she does. But those closest to her, her friends, her colleagues, say something different. They say she's tired, really tired. Not just physically, but emotionally. That kind of exhaustion that doesn't show on your face, but weighs heavily on your spirit. We can only imagine the pressure of carrying something so big on her shoulders, while still being the figure of strength everyone expects her to be. But she continues. She shows up, and that in itself is remarkable. Of course, we all want her to succeed. We want the show to be a hit. We want the audience to stand and cheer. But beyond all of that, we want her to be happy, truly happy. Because sometimes, success isn't about applause or awards, it's about finding peace in what you do and who you are. And that's what makes this next part so unexpected. For the longest time, Ellen remained silent about a topic that many fans have wondered about. Her past with Barr, a connection that, while no longer active, never really left the public's mind. Their chemistry, both on and off the screen, was once the subject of endless speculation. And even after they went their separate ways, questions remained. Until recently, she never commented on it. She never gave in to the tabloids. She kept her privacy, as she always has. But something shifted. Something changed. And when reporters caught up with her recently, asking about Barr, she didn't avoid the question. She answered, gently, honestly. She said that she was truly saddened when she heard about Barr's illness. There was no drama in her voice, just genuine concern. You could feel that, despite the distance between them now, there's still a softness in her heart when it comes to him. She admitted she was afraid not just for him, but for his child. Like many of us, she couldn't help but worry, because when someone you once cared for is going through something painful, it touches you, no matter how much time has passed. And then she said something that caught everyone off guard. She said, "I wish I had a husband like him. Simple, quiet, but full of meaning." Now, we don't know exactly what she meant by that. Was it a reflection of regret? A longing for a love that felt safe and kind? Or was it just admiration from afar, an acknowledgement of the man he is, separate from the man he once was to her? Whatever the meaning, the emotion behind it was clear. There was no bitterness, no resentment, just a trace of a connection that, although broken, had not been forgotten. This rare glimpse into her feelings is part of what makes Ellen so deeply loved. She's not someone who throws her heart into the spotlight for everyone to dissect. She protects it. And so, when she does speak even briefly, it means something. It carries weight. It's not every day that we hear a public figure speak with such subtle vulnerability. In a world that rewards noise and shock value, Ellen's quiet dignity is a breath of fresh air. It reminds us that strength doesn't always come from shouting the loudest. Sometimes it comes from knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. And when she chose to speak about Barr, it wasn't for the cameras or the clicks. It felt like something she needed to say. For herself. For closure, maybe. Or perhaps as a way to acknowledge that some people leave marks on our hearts that time doesn't erase. Meanwhile, Ellen continues with her work. Rehearsals stretch into the late hours. Her days are filled with choreography, costume fittings, script rewrites, and creative meetings. It's a whirlwind. And yet, she moves through it with poise. Those who've worked with her say that even when she's exhausted, she's kind. Even when something goes wrong, she's calm. Even when she's hurting, She carries herself with grace, and that's rare. In an industry that often rewards ego over empathy, Ellen remains a symbol of what it means to be both talented and kind. She doesn't chase headlines. She doesn't engage in public drama. She just works and lives, and every now and then lets us see a piece of her heart. Her recent comments about Barr may have surprised many, but in truth, they just confirmed what we already knew. That she is, above all else, human, capable of deep feeling, capable of remembering, capable of caring, even when there's no expectation to do so. And perhaps that's why so many people feel connected to her. Because in a world full of noise, Ellen reminds us of something quieter, something real. We wish her success in her work, of course. But even more than that, we wish her peace. The kind of peace that comes from doing what you love while being true to who you are. Because at the end of the day, what really matters isn't whether the show sells out or the critics give 5 stars. What matters is that when the curtain falls and the lights go down, she can smile not for the audience, but for herself. Thank you so much for joining me today and for taking the time to hear this story. If it touched your heart, if it made you pause and reflect, I would truly appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt updates like this one. And if you'd like to go one step further, you can click the join button below to support what we do here. Take care of yourselves. And remember, sometimes, even the quietest stories carry the loudest truths. See you in the next video.